Hi, welcome to lecture number 5 of the geography course. I'm Mr. Anderson and I get to guide you through map basics today. What you're going to want to do is pause your video for a minute. I want you to go find this sheet in your homework packet that I mailed to you. This is the lat long sheet. Go ahead and find that, grab a pencil. We're going to work through a few problems on that, help you with your first homework assignment. So go ahead and pause now. And welcome back. Hopefully you have this sheet in front of you. All right, map basics has got a lot to it. I'm going to give you some vocabulary that's kind of important for you to know. So let's pull up this PowerPoint. And we're going to go up to the beginning of the PowerPoint. Map basics. Okay, take a look at this globe. I'll make it just a little smaller for you so you can see it a little better. There are several lines across this globe. One you will be very familiar with from your other studies. That is the equator. Okay. Equator runs right across here, goes right around the world. This is the fattest part of the world. This is the equator. You probably know it's very hot at the equator. What you probably don't know is that the days and nights are about the same, and they don't really vary. Up here in Pasco, you get long summer days, short winter days. The equator, almost always, the days are almost exactly the same. And it is really weird. I was running around in Costa Rica 4 years ago. First time I'd been close to the equator like that. And it was summer, and the sun was going down up where I live, about 8:30 or so. Down there, sun went down at 6 o'clock. It was really weird, but no matter. Okay, so we've got the equator right here. At the extreme ends of the planet, we have two more circles. This is the Arctic Circle up here. This is the, yes, you guessed it, the Antarctic Circle down here. So what is the significance of these two circles? The Arctic Circle, the significance is that at least one day out of each year, there will be no sun. It's the Earth kind of wobbles and tilts when it goes around. One day out of each year, usually December 21st, there will be no sunshine. Some of you may have been up in the Arctic regions, and if you haven't, you'll get your chance. I was up in Fairbanks visiting kids here a while back, and it was winter, and it was right around Christmas time. We weren't quite into that Arctic Circle. We were close enough that we watched the sun come up about 10 in the morning, and it just kind of cruised along the horizon and went down about 1 o'clock. You did not get a lot of sunshine. Well, Arctic Circle is that point where some point during the day, you will have no sun. You'll have at least one day with no sun. Conversely, about June 21st, you will have a day with total sun. This is also weird. The sun just starts on one horizon, goes all the way around you. You always will see the sun. That's the significance of the Arctic Circle. The Antarctic Circle down here is basically the same thing, except different seasons. June 21st, you'll have no sunshine down here at the bottom of the world. December 21st, you will have constant daylight. It's a weird thing. So we have the Arctic Circle, we have the Antarctic Circle. Then here we have the Tropic of Cancer, and here we have the Tropic of Capricorn. You can see the degrees over here. The equator is 0 degrees. From the center of the Earth out to this point, this angle would be 23.5 degrees. From the center of the Earth to this point, 66.5 degrees. Aren't you glad you had geometry so you know all this stuff? And from the center of the Earth to the North Pole, you have a right angle, you have 90 degrees. Oh, yeah. Glad we have that geometry. Good stuff. Okay. So that's what's going on there. Now, what's the significance of the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn? Tropic of Cancer, that line right there that goes around the world, that line is the northernmost line at which, at some point during the year, the sun will be directly overhead. North of that, up here, the sun will never be directly overhead. Tropic of Capricorn is the same way. This is the southernmost point on the Earth where the sun will be, at some point during the year, directly overhead. Down here, the sun will never be directly overhead. Okay, so all of these lines play into climatic zones, which you will hit in tomorrow's lecture. But you can pretty well guess. Up here, it's going to be cold. Down here, it's going to be cold. Here, it's going to be uber hot. Okay, I don't know if you've ever been around the equator, but yeah, it gets really, really warm. Okay, so we have Arctic Circle, Antarctic Circle, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, and the equator. I remember those. All right, let's go on to the next slide here. And these are the climatic zones. We're going to look at this a little bit more tomorrow, but here's the frigid zone. This is the temperate zone. These are the tropics. Tropics, of course, being hot. Another temperate zone, a frigid zone down here, set off by those Arctic Circle, Antarctic Circle, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, and the equator in the middle. Okay, so we'll pick that up again tomorrow. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, this should look really familiar to you. This thing right here is a compass rose. We did this the very first lecture. North, of course, is our N, of course, stands for north, top of the map. South, S for south, bottom of the map. E for east, to the right of the map. W for west, to the left of the map. But this is what I want you to focus on more right over here. These two things. Okay, I'm going to clear this and get my smiling face out of the way so you can see it. There is a grid system set up on the Earth by cartographers, by map makers, that helps us locate positions. You have lines that go east to west. You have lines that go north to south. The east to west lines, this is called latitude. And this is latitude. The equator is one of the lines of latitude. Okay? Sometimes they're called parallels of latitude. All of these lines that you see right here, all of these lines will never cross each other. Remember geometry. Parallel lines never cross. Okay? So sometimes these are called parallels of latitude. These lines that go east and west, these are numbered. Okay? So this one at the equator will be 0, and then they will number right on up to 90 degrees north. Okay? Same thing going east. Again, we have 0, and then these will be numbered up until you get to 90 degrees south. Okay? So those are the parallels of latitude. We also have lines that go from north to south. Now, these are not parallel lines because when they get to the poles up here and down here, all these lines converge and come together. So these are just called lines of longitude, longitude, okay? This line that goes down like this is very important. This is 0 degrees longitude. This is where we start the counting. It goes through a place called Greenwich, England, and that is where the 0 line of longitude is. And then you count going east around the globe. So you'd have this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. This would be 90 degrees right here. And then it goes on around the back of the globe that you can see for the second quarter, which gets you to 180 degrees. 180 degrees will be exactly opposite of the prime meridian right here, prime meridian. This is 0. On the other side of the planet is 180 degrees. This is known as the international date line. Whenever you cross the date line, you either lose a day or you pick up a day, and we'll talk about that some other time. Just know that we have lines of longitude that go north to south. We have lines of latitude that go east to west. Now they go east to west, but they measure north to south. Don't let this confuse you. These go from north to south, but they measure east to west. And that will be a little more clear to you when we go to the next slide. So let's take a look at that next slide. Which is this one. Okay, lines of latitude and longitude. Remember, going north to south, we have lines of longitude. This is north to south. These are longitude. East to west, we have lines of latitude. And using this grid system, we can locate positions. All right, what this sheet does is gives you some latitudes and longitudes. We're going to try and find some points on the map. So we have 33 degrees north latitude. All right, so here's 30 degrees north latitude. Here's 40 degrees north latitude, but we want 33. So about halfway would be about 35 right there. So 33 is going to be right about here. So we just draw a line across here at about 33 degrees. So the point we're looking for is probably going to be Phoenix or Raleigh. Then we look at the longitude. This is 112 degrees longitude. Here's 110 degrees west longitude. Here's 120 degrees west longitude. So we know it's going to be between those two. This says 112, so we have 110, 111, 112, and it looks like Phoenix is what we would find at those coordinates. It's hard to write with a mouse. Okay, so Phoenix. It's not Raleigh over here. Raleigh's pretty close to 33 degrees north, but the longitude is much different. Here we're looking for 112. Raleigh's between 70 degrees west longitude and 80 degrees west longitude. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. This one is 35 degrees north latitude. So here's 30 degrees north latitude. Here's 40 degrees north latitude. So we're looking for 35, which is about in the middle. We just kind of draw a line across the middle, and it looks like it's going to be Raleigh, isn't it? But we got to check the longitude. So this is 78 degrees west longitude. So here's 70 degrees west longitude. Here's 80 degrees west longitude. This is about 75, 76, 77, and 78 right through Raleigh. So the answer to this one would be Raleigh. And I'm not going to worry about spelling it out, Raleigh. And let's try the next one. This is 46 degrees north latitude. Okay, so here's 40 degrees north latitude. Here's 50 degrees north latitude. 5 is right about here. We want 6, 46 degrees north latitude. So we go across. Looks like it's either going to be Portland or Fargo or Niagara Falls. So we're going to have to check the longitude. Longitude 96 degrees west longitude. So we're looking for 96. Here's 90 degrees west longitude. Here's 100 degrees west longitude. 95 would be right about there. We want 96 right out here someplace. We drag that up there. Oh, looky there. There is Fargo. Fargo. You get it. All right, let's try one more just to make sure you've got it. You'll notice that we always do the latitude first and the longitude second. You'll always write it just by common agreement. Latitude comes first, longitude comes second. So here we are looking for 45 degrees north longitude. Okay, here's our 45. Here's our 50. So we want 45, or here's our 40, here's our 50. 45 is going to be right about in the middle someplace. So okay, kind of drop down there. So we're going to check the longitude. Because it's close to Portland, it's close to Fargo, it's close to a bunch of stuff. So we go to the longitude. Here is 110, here's 120. We're looking for 122. So here's 120, 21, 22. So that takes us up. Looks like we go through Portland. So that's how latitude and longitude work. Let's go to our next slide here, which just happens to be your worksheet. Now, I'm going to have to kind of mess with the sizing on this thing to make it work. So bear with me here. Make it big enough for you to see. It's probably a little too big. Let's drop back just a little bit. That works. Now, with previous map, we had the coordinates. With this one, we just have the site and we have to come up with the coordinates. So what you're going to do on this sheet, we're going to find this point, letter A. Okay, so we look up on the map. Oh, there's letter A right there. Scroll that up just a little bit more so you can see. All right, we've got our grid coordinates written up here, up across the top, and down the sides. You'll notice that the lines are every 15 degrees, but they're only labeled every 30 degrees. So here's 0 degrees. This is the prime meridian right here. Here is 15 degrees. It's not labeled, but here's 30. Here's 45 degrees, not labeled, but here's 60. Add 15 more degrees. Here's 75. Here's 90. Here's 105. Here's 120. It's labeled. The next one is not labeled. It's 135. So you kind of get the drift, okay, how that works. So we find letter A. Now remember, we do latitudes first. Latitudes are over here at the side. So we count up 15, 30, 45. Whoop, letter A is right on that 45 degrees. So down here where it says letter A, we make 45. Now we can't just say 45 degrees because we got 45 degrees down here at the bottom too, don't we? So we have to put north over here. It is north of the equator. So it's going to be 45 degrees north latitude. All right, now we got to figure out the longitude. This one is sitting directly on a line. So we follow that line up there, and whoop, it's between 90 and 120. We know that there's 15 degrees with each line. So 90 plus 15 is 105. This is 100. 5 degrees is the longitude, but we have to know if it's east or west. Okay, here's that prime meridian right there. This is west, this is east. So this is going to be 105 degrees east longitude, Okay. All right, let's clear all that stuff and try the next one. Actually, no, I'm going to have you skip letter B. This letter B is over here. It's not exactly on the lines. Well, what the heck? We can go ahead and do it. We'll do it. Okay, letter B right there. Okay, we're going to do latitude first. So 1530. Now, it's not right on the line, is it? So it's probably 32. Okay, so letter B, 32. Is that north or south of the equator? There's the equator. So, of course, it's north. So that's 32 degrees north latitude. Okay, it looks like it's pretty well on this longitude line right here. So let's follow that longitude line up. And I'm not very steady today, but it comes up between 120 and 150. So we add 15 to 120, we get 135. This is 135 degrees. Is it east or west? Here's west of the prime meridian. Here's east. So it is east. 135 degrees east longitude. Okay, starting to get it? Let's try another one. Just make sure you got it before I turn you loose. Okay, this is letter C. Let's look around. Oh, there's letter C right there. No, isn't this nice? Letter C is sitting right on the grid lines. So we do the latitude first. We go across the grid line. It's 15 degrees. Is it north or south of the equator? It's north, so we put 15 degrees north. Let's see, let's find a longitude line. Here's the longitude line. It goes up right here between 60 and 90. So we know that's going to be 75. So 75 degrees, I'll make a 5 here. 75 degrees. Now, is that east or west? Here's the prime meridian. This is to the east, so it's going to be 75 degrees east. Okay, I think you're probably getting the hang of that, but let's go to some that are just a little trickier here. I'm going to have to move the map down a little. Let's go to letter J. Okay, letter J is what the one we're going to look for. So I'm going to move back up, find J here. There's J, J. Oh, here's J right here. Here's J. Where's my marker? Okay, here's J right here. So let's do the latitude first because we always do. So we have equator 0, 15, here's 30, here's 45. So we know that J is going to be 45 degrees north, 45 degrees north. But now let's look at the longitude. Uh-oh, J is sitting right on that prime meridian, isn't it? So it comes down here, it's 0. So that's what you're going to put in the answers here. So let's scroll down to J. What did we say? It was 45 degrees north. My pen back. So here's J, 45, ugly 5, and it's north of the equator, 0 degrees longitude. And because it's right on the line, you don't have to put east or west, okay? So 45 degrees north, latitude, 0 degrees longitude. I think there's one more. Actually, let's do that one more. Let's look at letter K. Letter K, there it is right there. What's the latitude? Oh, right on the equator, 0 degrees latitude. You're not going to put north or south. And where is it on the prime meridian? Whoop, 0 degrees. So for letter K, you're just going to put 0 and 0. Okay, I think you're probably doing pretty well on that. Let's do one more. Let's do on the south. Let's find letter D. Letter D. Where's letter D? Ah, there's letter D right there. Okay. What do we always do first? If you said latitude, you're absolutely correct. So this time we're going to count down 15, 30. So letter D is 30 degrees. North or south latitude? Well, here's the equator. It's south of the equator, so this is going to be south. And now we do the longitude. We're just going to follow that line down here. It's between 120 and 150, so we add 15 to 120, and letter D is 135. East or west? Here's the prime meridian. It's still to the east, so we put east over here. Now, you will have some that will be west longitude. You look over here, you're going to find these are west longitude, okay? So don't let that fool you. All right, well, I think you probably got the idea on how that works. This is how we find the grid coordinates. So go ahead, work on that homework. If you get stuck, just email me, and I'll see if I can help you out with it. And if we need to, we'll just call another Zoom session and work through it. So, hey, that's it for number 5. Number 6, tomorrow we'll hit hemispheres, climatic zones. It's going to be a short one tomorrow. Okay, that won't hurt your feelings, will it? Hey, have a great day. See you later. Bye.